Fearscape Media Network, exploring the unknown, one podcast at a time. Coming to you from nowhere, a suburb of parts unknown. Join Stefan and Lance, the Misters of the Dark, as they review all things horror with their latest victim. I mean guest. New episodes of Misters of the Dark drop Mondays on the Fearscape Media Network.
Hello, and welcome to The Antagonists, an all-villains podcast. I'm your host and neighborhood gremlin, Sam. Hey.
And I am the man with no name. You're a resident person.
Hey, congrats on being a person.
Yeah, I was gonna go a little weirder there, but I thought, nah.
See, I want to know where your weirder was.
No, you don't. You do not know where
I mean, I definitely do.
No,
I've seen your weirder, Lance. I don't think that
we'll save it. We'll save it for off air.
See, oh man, that just makes me more curious, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to think of anything else now.
Oh well, how are you doing?
I mean, I guess I'm okay.
Really?
Doing pretty well. You know, it's
You survived the ice storm.
I did survive.
Snow.
I did survive the ice and the snow. Things have been looking up a little bit outside. I've got my COVID vaccine.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yep. So I'm all inoculated against, COVID-19 for however long this lasts.
Yeah,
I mean, the vaccine itself, because we're still trying to test how long it lasts. But I'll get it again. I don't give a fuck.
I don't know. But yeah, that's Kentucky for you, though, isn't it? It went from a blizzard to almost spring-like weather.
I mean, there are about 25 seasons in Kentucky. So.
Yeah. It's just that never ceases to amaze me. Just like it's literally blizzard, 2 days later, it's like something out of friggin' Snow White or something. The birds are singing and the sun is shining. And someday my prince will come.
See, that's what my husband's always yelling at me because I have like.
Someday my prince will come?
No.
He's always yelling that at you?
I mean, maybe. But no, I was going to talk about like how I always have like 10 jackets laying around the house. And the fact of the matter is, I don't know what outside is going to feel like. So I don't know. Am I just going to need a hoodie? Am I going to need like a hoodie and a light jacket? Am I going to need to be bundled up? So I've literally just got everything laying out because I don't know what I'm going to need from one day to the next. It keeps fucking changing.
Yeah, I got an insane amount of hoodies. Yeah, I'm the same way.
I have like 3 hoodies and I like, it's almost in a loop, just depending on how much of my body I want to hide that day.
I bet I have over 10. I bet I have over 10 hoodies.
I need more hoodies. I always want more hoodies. I feel safe.
Well, I had to buy some hoodies because like I got a couple like right when fall was about to begin. Just because I don't know, I was like I want more than one hoodie, just because I get tired of wearing the same old one every day. But I bought these two, and I don't know, like I don't know, but the quality was just terrible. It was almost like it was cotton, but it was like real stiff and just wasn't like soft or anything. I mean, it was almost like you could tear it. Almost like it
Ew.
was like cotton and paper.
That sounds horrible. Why would you get that?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah,
Who
I got
makes
rid
that?
of them. I don't know. I got them off Amazon. They were on Amazon like Prime, and I think one was like a Ninja Turtles, and the other one was a Jason. And
Do you not read the reviews?
I didn't see any.
You don't buy something without seeing if it had reviews.
I buy, like, when it comes to that stuff, I see if it's officially licensed. You know, and I feel like that might tell you something, like, you know, hopefully if it's officially licensed, they you know, we'll put a little more effort into it. But no, I mean, it looked like literally they just like shit, I even studied this. Why can't I think of it? Silkscreen?
What the fuck is a
or iron on? It's almost like they ironed on the picture on some like low quality hoodie, made it another $10 just because they have some, you know, IP
that's probably
on it.
what they did. That sounds exactly right. But like I said, read reviews. Like I can't buy something without there being reviews for it. I did it once because I bought like this fake snow stuff. It's like, you know, like how kids play with like goo or whatever the slime shit is.
Yeah. I know.
But there was this one where you can add water to it and you make fake snow.
And
it was cool as fuck. And my friend, she had some for her kids or whatever, and I played with them. Like, I love the texture of this, and I'm me, so I want to play with it too. So I went online and I bought some, and then it came in, and one, it was much less than what they told me it was going to be. Like, I got way less of it. And two, it did not feel like snow. It felt weird. It didn't feel great. And I'm pretty sure it stained my Tupperware that I mixed it in. It was really upsetting.
Yeah, I could tell. You probably had to have therapy, right?
I mean, I really should be in therapy. I am not currently, but hey, if there are any therapists out there that are looking for, you know, just a complete ass mess to work on, I'm available.
Do you gotta curse so much?
I don't have to. I really shouldn't. I know that my mom listens to this podcast.
Oh, your mom listens, so she's the one out of the two that listen to this podcast.
I say my mom listens or whatever. Hi, Mom. I love you. And, you know, I feel like she's gotten used to me cursing because she's seen me on stage before. So,
do you know? This is not going to be an entire podcast, everybody, so don't worry. Just us talking about weather and jackets and Amazon. But are you familiar with the Disney Plus show? Well, I guess it's technically Marvel Disney Plus or whatever. WandaVision.
I know that everybody is talking about it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of the same way. I haven't watched it. I've like read a little bit about it just because, like you said, everybody's talking about it. Have you heard though about like there was a big villain reveal? It's this I'd never heard of her till it got brought up, but it's Agatha Harkness. She's like a witch or something. And like she has this theme song. Have you heard about this?
No, sorry. I was trying to figure out why Harkness sounded familiar, and I'm thinking of Captain Jack Harkness or whatever from Doctor Who. It's a completely different thing. So, I have no idea. I have no idea what you're talking about.
But, well, I'm not going to go into it because it's kind of complicated. And like I said, I've never watched it. I've just read some reviews and crap like that about it. But, like it's done like it's almost like a sitcom, and they go like it starts like in the 50s where it's like because it's Wanda. I can't think of her last. She's the Scarlet Witch though, which is a Marvel super. Yeah, and Vision. They're a couple, and it's like
they're a couple.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have kids.
Oh shit!
In the comics, I think they did in the show too. I don't know what they're because it's supposed to be like an illusion. I don't know, but like the illusion is it's like. Every couple episodes, it like will be a different kind of sitcom from a different era. So it starts out like I Love Lucy, and then it goes to like the Brady Bunch.
All right,
and then it goes to like all those 80s like Full House.
Okay,
but like Agatha got revealed as the villain, and there's like this theme song for her done in the way of like the Munsters theme song almost. And it's just like blowing up. They say it's like what like in the top 10 of like Spotify and stuff like that. And it like and I was like, well, I'm gonna listen to this damn thing. And I cannot get it out of my freaking head.
Oh, really?
I don't even watch the show. I don't really care. I don't really care about Marvel, period. But I listened to I think the first time I listened to it 5 times in a row.
Oh, wow. I'm going to have to listen to it now.
It's just I don't know. It's just so it's not good. It's done like the Munsters thing, which I do like the Munsters thing, but it's I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't typically get into like the superhero stuff anymore. Like, well, at least like the Marvel DC stuff, I can't, because unfortunately you can't kind of be into Marvel or DC. You either have to love it because if you like it a little bit, people are gonna give you shit if you don't love everything about it. And
well, I just ignore them.
See, the way I ignore them
care.
is by not paying attention to any of it.
I mean, I'll be honest. I've always said and that's probably why me and Stefan are such good friends, because he's a DC guy too. And honestly, I mean, I just know more about DC as opposed to Marvel. And really, the only reason I know more about DC is because Batman's DC. And I'm not real. I'm a Batman fan. Like first and foremost, like that's just and I know some about Marvel, but I like Marvel's villains more than I like their heroes.
See, I'm at the opposite. The one thing that I know, and the one like opinion that I have about like Marvel versus DC is that I think that Marvel has better heroes, but DC has immensely better villains.
Oh, and I agree. I agree. I'm just saying I don't know. I just like if you were to ask me my favorite Marvel characters, more of them would be villains than heroes. But I do agree. Like Batman's rogues gallery. My God, that's you don't have to hear it from some idiot like me. But I mean, my God, Batman's villains are almost as big as the Joker.
I mean, like, oh gosh, because I watched the Flash TV show or whatever, and I really enjoyed the Reverse Flash.
Yeah.
Like that whole arc and everything like that. Like they had some really good villains and stuff like that within the Flash TV series, and I don't know, like, and also, I mean, granted, I guess with things like WandaVision and stuff like that, I guess DC's trying to. Or not DC, Marvel's trying to like get in on that like good TV show game or whatever. But
I guess
for the longest time, DC had the best like superhero television shows.
Yeah, I mean that's the only thing I would. I mean, I don't know.
They've been lacking on the movies.
Yeah, and I don't care much for any of the TV shows personally because it doesn't really have anything to do with Batman. There's Batwoman, but I heard it's awful.
I've not seen it.
I've heard it's crap.
Green Arrow was good though.
I caught a little Green Arrow. It was okay. This is just my opinion. I'm not knocking it. This is just my opinion. But yeah. I mean, I mean, isn't it crazy though when you think about it? Because we've had how many Batman have we had? Technically, I mean, okay, there was like one back in the 40s that was like the serials, and the things that played before movies back in the day. Then there was Adam West. Then there was Michael Keaton. Then there was Val Kilmer. Then there was George Clooney.
George Clooney, I was trying to think of.
Yeah, Christian Bale.
Ooh, Robert Pattinson coming up. So.
Yeah, well, Ben Affleck and Robert. Okay, that is 8. We've had 8 Batmen. Nobody has won an Academy Award. We've had 8 people play Batman. None of them won Academy Awards for playing Batman. We've had how many Jokers? We've had Cesar Romero from the Adam West Show. We had Jack Nicholson. we had Heath Ledger, and we had Joaquin Phoenix. Well, we had Jared Leto, and then we had Joaquin Phoenix.
You, Jared Leto, but okay.
But two of those actors have won Oscars playing the Joker. I mean, what does that say? You know, that's just. Don't you just find that interesting?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know too much about like the whole DC movies, and granted, I have not seen all of the Batman movies. I do not know all of, I guess the nuances behind the lore of Batman. But like,
well, I mean, his parents got killed and
all that fun stuff. Granted, I find it more interesting. Isn't there like an alternate universe where it's actually Bruce who gets killed and then his dad becomes Batman and then his mom becomes the Joker?
Yeah, or was it me and you that talked about this the other day? I had this conversation with somebody.
It might have been. I feel like I've had this conversation multiple times. I still feel like that's interesting. Like I feel like that's more interesting to me than anything Batman that has come out like ever.
Well, you should. I definitely suggest watching it's Flashpoint, the animated.
Yeah.
Film.
Well, okay. Flashpoint animated film, that would be interesting, yes, but that's also just because as far as like DC heroes, and it may be just because I was a big fan of like the CW Flash show, I would be interested in watching that.
Well, it is. I mean, it's called Flashpoint. It's very Flash oriented.
I like Flash.
Yeah, and I think they even did Flashpoint on the CW.
They did. They did. Well, I mean, they did. I guess part of it. Like, I don't know. There's probably a lot of in depth they did not go into.
Yeah. Well, I know at one point they brought Kevin Conroy, who does the voice for Batman in the Batman animated series. Like, he was Batman. Like, they brought him in to play like a sort of older, broken down.
Will Friedle did the voice of Batman in Batman animated series, or in at least one of the animated series.
Who's Will Friedle? After the name?
Will Friedle. You would know him. He was the voice of Ron Stoppable and Kim Possible, and he was the older brother Eric Matthews in Boy Meets World. My Date with the President's Daughter.
I have I know who you're talking about, but I
know he did the voice of Batman in one of the things. It
was probably
it was like a 90s show, I think.
I don't know. Kevin Conroy. It was probably in one of the animated films. Because DC, that's one thing DC also has Marvel beat on. Is the like the direct-to-video, like DC animated films.
Okay, like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking it up now because I have to.
Yeah, well,
Batman Beyond.
Okay, yeah, Batman Beyond, yeah, which was a continuation of the Batman animated series. I didn't know he did the voice for that.
Yeah.
Wow.
See,
because that's like obviously he's like a Batman in the future, but he's being mentored by Bruce Wayne, which Bruce Wayne's older, and it's also voiced by Kevin Conroy.
Oh, wait, so the Batman and Batman Beyond is not Bruce Banner Batman?
Bruce Wayne?
Bruce Wayne. I said Bruce Banner, did I? Yes. Son of a whore. All the Bruces. Son of a bitch.
Well, I'll forgive you.
Bruce
Wayne's my cousin, right?
Bruce Wayne's your cousin. All right.
Yeah, remember that thing Stefan made us?
Oh, yeah.
I loved that.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, so I think that we should actually, though, just turn gears for a second and figure out what our focus is. Because our focus today is talking about heroes or protagonists or just, people who are usually thought to be good guys in media, and talking about, are they an actual villain or are they just assholes?
Yeah.
And I have this a lot because I feel like there are a lot of good guys or heroes that people like to idolize or talk about, and I'm like, that dude is like an actual villain, like it's actual piece of shit, and I have very strong feelings about it. as a like. Okay, so have you heard of the show You?
I have. I know very little about it.
Okay, so I also know very little about it. I try to watch like the first episode. I think I watched like the first episode. The basic idea is that there is this guy, his name is Joe, and he's creepy as fuck, and he's a serial killer who stalks this girl, and I think that's the show. I
Well, it's now what? He's supposed to be the hero?
Yes. Like seriously, everybody that like for a while there, anytime you would see anybody talk on like Facebook or whatever, it's just be like, I want a guy like Joe from You. And I'm like, no, you don't. Like within like the first like 10 minutes, he had broken into this girl's apartment so he could sneak on her computer so he could learn about her so he would have something to talk to her about.
Are you sure he's supposed to be? I wouldn't call him a hero.
See, the thing is,
are you talking about people like I get this with the Joker a lot. People are always like talking about how they love the Joker, they would love to be the Joker and stuff, and I'm like, the Joker's a mass murdering psycho.
Like people were thirsting after this character so hard.
Yeah, but that doesn't. But that I don't. I think you're looking at it. He honest to God presented as the protagonist of this piece, or is it like just almost like a character study?
See, that once again, haven't seen entirely all the way through because it made me so upset because it follows him and everything that I see is people just loving this guy.
Yeah.
Just talking about, he loves this main character, taking his actions of, I guess, killing off people that she didn't like or people that hurt her, or people, I guess, that talk to her as acts of love.
I see, because anytime I've heard it brought up, I've always heard it brought up in a horror sense, like not, it has nothing to do with like heroes or villains. It's like a horror.
Nope, I've heard people say that they love him and would love someone who loved them as much as Joe loved that girl.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives me real street vibes.
It's just like the people that say, I want a relationship like Harley and Joker. No, Harley Quinn suffers. I think they've kind of she's become more independent through the years, but Harley Quinn's a victim of Stockholm syndrome,
and also we know where we all at this point should know that Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy really should be the ones who are together. Like they are in the comics. Yes, love it. But official. I can't understand that, like people who want to do that. It's like the whole Romeo and Juliet thing.
I know. I feel like did we talk about this in the last? I feel like we talked about this in the last episode. I feel like we're going over stuff.
Okay, well, fine then. Okay. Then I'm gonna go with another one.
Okay.
Willy Wonka.
Oh fuck! I'll agree with you on that. Shit. I've always said Willy Wonka, and I say it without. I don't say it to be quirky or funny or anything like that. Willy Wonka is one of the scariest films ever made to me.
I mean, okay, one, the thing when they're in the like the boat or whatever, that's a creepy scene, especially if you're supposed to like slow it down and see all like the different things that flash. But just in general, Willy Wonka, he like, if you go by, what the kind of stuff you see in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, he uses his own trauma and then like abuses children for fun and then, like lies to them. Just to see if they're good kids. And I'm like, it's fucked up. And I think that goes beyond asshole into villain territory.
Well, have you even, there's that thing that, you've seen the Lisa Simpson meme, haven't you? Where she's standing in front of a screen and it says something. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, but I shared it actually, I think around Halloween. And it said, it was the Lisa Simpson meme. And it said, Willy Wonka is basically Saw for children.
I mean, yeah, like, okay.
It is.
And it bothers me so much because like you could argue that yeah, those kids were pieces of shit. And they were. I mean, Veruca Salt, like seriously, she's never had anybody tell her no. But at the same time, they are children.
Yeah.
They are children.
I still see this. You everybody can hate me all they want. And I was actually watching a documentary on him the other day. Gene Wilder. Gene Wilder. I love him in
fantastic.
The Producers, Young Frankenstein, anything I've seen him in, except Willy Wonka, because I think he is a child murderer.
I mean,
you don't see those kids. That's why I prefer the Johnny Depp Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
I can't.
I like it better because at least you see the kids walk out and they're not.
I mean, I get that, but at the same time, like, one, I feel like the older one is like more subtly scary because, like you said, you don't see him walk out. You see, like, in the very beginning when Charlie's like looking at the gate and there's that guy that just has like a rack of like fucking knives and hatchets and shit.
Yeah.
Just walk up and I'm like, who is this guy and where is he taking all this? Yeah. So, like, I feel like the older one is more subtly scary, whereas I found the Johnny Depp version more just overtly terrifying. Because
I don't.
Okay.
I don't, and because I see it. Gene Wilder's Willy Wonka. I've always seen him much more sinister. He's much more malevolent, whereas Johnny Depp's he's kind of aloof.
He was creepy to me in that role. It was creepy to me because, like, I remember the first time I ever saw a picture of Johnny Depp as Willy Wonka. So in 5th grade, we did this thing where the boys and the girls got separated, and the boys had to go learn how boys' bodies worked, and the girls got to go learn how girls' bodies worked. I don't know. Super weird. But the boys, they got to sit through whatever their thing was, and then they got to go to the Slugger Museum and then got to go to the movies. You want to know what the girls did?
What?
We went through all that stuff like, hey, you're just going to be in pain for like 40 years of your life. Like,
yeah.
And then we got to go get manicures and get our hair done. And it was the fucking worst.
Oh, wow.
You know me.
Oh,
like, this was never my thing.
Yeah.
I got a French braid.
Oh, wow.
Back when I had hair, I got a French braid.
Wow.
And I still am uncomfortable with getting a manicure because they want to push back your cuticles. And I've had this fear ever since that it's just like the cuticle is the only thing holding my nail on. If you push it back, my nail's just going to fall off.
All right. Yeah, let's
Besides the point.
Get away from your neuroses.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of them. It's really hard to navigate. But the point is, I was sitting there in this salon or whatever, and I'm just sitting there, and all of a sudden I'm just like looking through the magazines because what else is there to do? It's not like I'm watching a movie. It's not like I get popcorn at the movies like a boy.
Like a boy.
They got little slugger bats and everything.
That is
fucking bullshit.
They should have asked you after you were done, what do you want to, would you rather do this or rather, oh my God, that was awfully presumptuous of them.
Exactly. But besides the point, so I'm just sitting there, I'm looking through the magazines. All of a sudden I like pick up a magazine, and then right underneath there is just a big picture of Johnny Depp's face as fucking Willy Wonka. And I swear to God, I started crying because there was
something. How old were you?
I don't know, like 11, maybe. I don't know how. Whenever it came.
Snail.
I don't know when it came out, but like, okay, so it was also around that time or whatever. Like, we were around that age or whatever when all that like Michael Jackson stuff was happening. Or whatever.
Okay, I get it now.
Yeah,
I get it.
It was when all that Michael Jackson stuff was happening, and that's what it made me think of. And for some reason, I have not been okay with it since.
Yeah, because I remember. God, how old was I when that movie? I was like 16. Yeah, I was like 16 when that movie came out.
I don't even remember when it came out, but yeah, well, it was 5th grade. However the old that is, like.
But I remember reading reviews for it where people were like, it's just weird that they chose to go this route, especially with the the Michael Jackson. I mean, reviews were critics were even stating. So yeah, I get that. I never did. I never connected it. One, I've always thought Michael Jackson. I always thought he was innocent, but
See, I don't know about all of that.
yeah,
I do know, I mean, as
the,
far as music or whatever, I still remember getting to wake up in the middle of the night to see the Thriller music video for the first time. That was pretty fucking amazing.
you weren't even born when the Thriller video
No,
came
but it came on like MTV or something like that, and my parents woke me up because I liked the song.
Oh,
Like,
I'm surprised. I'm surprised you didn't piss yourself watching the video.
Oh no, like, I mean, granted, when I was a little kid, I liked weird stuff. Like, I was into my Goosebumps and my Are You Afraid of the Dark or whatever.
So was I, but the Thriller video back when I was little, it was too much for me. It scared the shit out of me. It scared the shit out of me.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, all you rogues and rapscallions. Have you ever wanted to start your own podcast, but you're not really sure how to do that? Let me explain to you why Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. First of all, it's free. Did you hear that? It's completely free. There's even creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Anchor is everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So go ahead, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
So what about you, Lance? Are there any sort of like heroes or good guys you think are really villains or maybe just fucking assholes?
See, I only had like 2 or 3, but I didn't really like research them. They're just sort of characters I've kind of watched from the sideline, so to speak. Like, I mean, the one that immediately that I've always thought is, and I'm probably gonna pronounce her name wrong, Katniss Everdeen
from
yes.
The Hunger Games.
Yes.
Okay,
because
yeah.
For one simple reason, and I'm not even sure if this is in the films. I've never read any of the books. I've heard people have told me about the books.
I've read the books.
Well, okay, then, and I've seen maybe like 80% of the films. Like, just I think I've seen all of them, but just like
I haven't seen like The Mockingjay. I think.
But she goes through all this hell with the Hunger Games and whatnot, and starts the revolution and what have you. And then when asked, well, what do we do with what are like the superiors called? Like the rich people, they're called something.
They're just the people in the capital.
Okay. And what should we do with their children? Should we just let them go? And she decides no, that they're going to continue doing the Hunger Games.
Actually, fun fact, no, that was not Katniss Everdeen. That was okay. So.
But she agreed to it, right?
No, she did not. And this is
well, fuck! This person completely lied to me. Then screw my.
See, the thing is that she went through all this or whatever, and one of the people, like the leader of the rebels, it's their name is Coin or whatever. Her name is Coin, like Emerald Coin. I don't fucking know. Just they call her Coin. I guess it's her last name or whatever. And she's the one that was going to take over for President Snow, the person who like helped lead the Hunger Games, and he was like the president of the Capitol or whatever. And she was the one that decided like, so we're going to go ahead and put President Snow, this asshole, to death. And then everybody in the Capitol and their children, they're going to have to participate in the Hunger Games now.
That's the one she shoots, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. She was supposed to publicly execute President Snow, and instead of doing that, she takes a shot at Coin and kills her instead, and then just like the angry mob kills Snow because he also deserved to die.
Well, then to hell with this. whoever told, I swear to God, the person who told me this said no, she agrees that no, the Hunger Games should continue. So yeah, I'm sorry, Katniss Everdeen. I was misinformed.
I mean, I was ready to like hear this like hot take on it, and I used to really enjoy the Hunger Games series, so I was ready for it. And I was like, oh yes, please tell me how Katniss Everdeen is horrible. Let's just tear down these YA heroes.
I guess she's not, so I apologize.
She's just a traumatized kid.
Yeah. Like I guess the real villain's whoever told me that Katniss Everdeen agreed to continue the Hunger
Fuck you,
Games.
Steve.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm liking your suggestions better because mine are just kind of lame.
Okay,
Or
so
completely wrong.
I have a question. Do you know anything about Gossip Girl?
Nothing.
Like absolutely nothing?
I know it's a bunch of girls that apparently they gossip.
I mean, well, okay, so the idea behind Gossip Girl, it's about these rich white people.
Well,
And it's these Upper East Siders or whatever in New York City, and they are just these awful teenagers and young adults that get away with everything because they have money, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
And throughout
Is this a reality show?
I mean, like, I'm pretty sure that they have these reality TV shows. I just don't watch them.
Yeah.
So Keeping Up with the Kardashians, I guess.
Yeah. The OC.
Exactly. But no. So the thing about it is like, this is one of my guilty pleasure shows. I've seen it at least twice, the entire series. It's bad. But the thing about it is that from the very beginning, you're showed these awful people and they're, rich and they just get away with everything, because they have money, and just like everybody is awful. There's not a redeemable person on that show. But the thing is, the, I guess, kind of hero or good guy that you see is this guy, Dan Humphrey. He is like, his dad's a musician, and, his mom is an artist, and, he didn't grow up with all this money like everybody else did. He got into the school that they all go to on a scholarship, and he's just a good guy, good guy, Dan Humphrey. And they go through like 7 seasons of just being like, everybody's screwing over Dan, everybody's fucking over Dan. And then the main thing is that like, there's this, I guess, like web site or something like that called Gossip Girl, where people will send in tips, and it basically just doxes people. It's just like, oh, this person over here was seen making out with someone who's not their boyfriend. Oh, this person over here is leaving town because they got caught with too many drugs. And
This literally just sounds like real life.
I mean,
This
I don't
literally
know.
just sounds like reality TV, cancel culture.
Everything. It's horrible. And then it's everything is like, everybody talks about who is Gossip Girl ruins lives, all this other stuff. It's this whole thing. And then for anybody who hasn't seen it, I'm sorry, but it's been out for like a decade now, or what the fuck ever. But it's revealed at the very end of the series, like very last episode, that Dan Humphrey has been Gossip Girl this entire time.
No shit.
Yeah,
I think it's kind of clever, honestly.
No, I
Really?
mean, it makes me so mad. Oh, by the way, the guy who plays Dan Humphrey is the same guy who plays the serial killer in You.
Oh, well.
Penn Badgley or whatever.
Man,
Yeah.
you just have it out for this guy, don't you?
No, like he just keeps playing these assholes. But no, it's just, he like, there's so much that happens here or whatever, like, that doesn't make sense, like continuity wise. Like at one point, Gossip Girl ends up, posting about how Dan's younger sister is being seen with this guy who sexually assaults women. And like, just like, ooh, she's being seen with this playboy, even though we all know what he really does. And instead of going off to help
okay, go ahead, because okay, yeah.
And then instead of going off to help his sister, like, or instead of not posting that, he instead, apparently posts it and then acts all surprised. He posts about his own girlfriend cheating on him. Like
was this? Do you feel like this decision to make him the Gossip Girl or whatever? Do you feel like it was very like last minute, like let's just have him be the, or were there clues throughout the season?
I honestly, I feel like it was a
the
last
series?
minute thing or whatever. I
Really?
mean, one, he was always kind of like a low-key asshole, like, you know, I might not have money, but you know, I'm smarter than all of you sort of thing. Like he was always like that, like kind of like artsy elitist asshole.
Yeah.
So, but then it just did this, and I'm like, okay, so you just went from being just kind of like a dick to just being an actual villain who has ruined not only your family's life, but your friends' lives, even your life to some extent. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I mean, do they even like give him any reasoning? Does he have like a big like a big evil supervillain monologue like ha 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 ha?
No, and actually I remember the entire reason why he created Gossip Girl in the first place, which even makes it creepier. Because he wanted to figure out a way to insert himself into this popular girl's life. Like, so he created this whole thing. So, you know, she was like this popular girl and they wanted someone to be, he created something so they could talk about her, and he was Lonely Boy. So they could be on the same radar and find each other, so he could write himself into her story.
Wow. Wow.
And then he became Joe on You.
He became what? Oh,
Joe on You.
Yeah. Oh man.
I realized that sounded
maybe
weird.
maybe You is just a spin-off of yeah.
That
Man,
would make complete sense.
I gotta admit, I'm loving these that you're throwing at me. Next.
Oh, okay. So this one, it kind of breaks my heart, but I was actually like looking things up, you know, like heroes that are kind of assholes.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these things you don't realize until you're an adult, you know, of just how bad they were. I think his name is Daniel, the dad in Mrs. Doubtfire.
Really?
I mean, I didn't think so as a kid, you know, because he
Yeah.
was just a dad who loved his children and wanted to see them. But at the same time, he lied and deceived his ex-wife. He changed himself. Could you imagine had that not been their actual dad to do that? You know, to change his entire appearance just so he could be in that household. Like, that's creepy as fuck. He physically assaulted her new boyfriend on multiple occasions.
Yeah, almost killed him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I hate it because I mean, I love Robin Williams and I love like in everything that he's in.
And if it was anybody else, I don't think it could work. But he did. He brought sympathy.
Exactly.
He was the kind of actor that could
make
get you on that guy's side. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. You're rooting for him. Yeah.
But when you think about it, and you take all of that out, if you take all of that out and you just look at what the facts are, it's really creepy, and it's like kind of a villain. Like, I mean, as much as a movie like that can have a villain, he was definitely not a good guy.
I mean, I have when you talking, I can't help but think of there's that one line by the judge, kind of after, you know, it's discovered and everything, and he says to Robin Williams, he's like, I just think, I don't think of you as a father. I'm saying it wrong, but he says, I don't think of you as a father. I think you're just a very eccentric. I'm pronouncing that wrong.
Eccentric?
Yes, actor. I mean,
and like I said, I get it. You know, he loved and he misses kids or whatever, but at the same time, he went about it the entirely wrong way.
Yeah. Like I can't imagine.
He would be in jail.
Yeah, and that there's something wrong with somebody that is willing to adopt just a whole other personality. You know what I mean? Because it's not like, and that's something I never got either, because he wanted to be Mrs. Doubtfire in order to be with his children. But the thing is, what good did it do? because he had to pretend to be this elderly Irish woman the entire time in order to be. It's not. You're not really.
You're not
You're
with
not
your
really.
kids.
Yeah, you're not really spending any time. Yeah. Okay. I see it. I agree.
And like I said, it's upsetting to me because once again, I do love that movie. But once I sat and thought about it, I'm just like, wow, this could so easily be a horror movie. Like if you just took out the laugh track or whatever and, changed up the musical selection, made the scenes a little bit darker, like just lighting wise, it could be a horror movie.
Well, and they do, in the world of film or cinema or whatever you want to call it.
Cinema.
They up the ante. He's doing this really freaky thing, but like Pierce Brosnan really is like, well, I don't even know. I mean, he's a jerk. And the one and the ex-wife is a little uptight. But I mean, not really villainous. Like I remember reading something that in the and initially in the script, Pierce Brosnan's character was supposed to be a whole lot like more. I don't know. I don't want to say sinister, but just more so villain. Like he wanted to send the kids off to
boarding school or something.
Boarding school, and things like that.
See, and my thing is like, as an adult looking at it now, like I can't look at the mom and say that she was necessarily wrong. She was just off. She was doing her job. She was working hard. And then, she specifically talked about like, not wanting him to like throw a huge birthday party or whatever. And then he literally gets like elephants and other zoo animals into their apartment, and he just completely disregards anything that she says. Yeah. And she's just trying to like be an adult and raise kids the best that she can. And instead of like being like a co-parent, instead of saying like, hey, we're going to figure this out together, what can we do? He's just like, I think this would be fun and I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that one made me a little bit sad, but
yeah, that's kind of bummed me out too.
I know. Oh my gosh. Okay, so then I think this is my biggest one. This is like the big one that I'm like, I think about a lot, and it's one that went from villain to hero, even though they should have been a villain to the entire time. Mm-hmm. Severus Snape. Okay, because the idea of Severus Snape, like he was in love with Harry's mom. They like grew up as kids together or whatever, and then he was the one that warned Dumbledore about Voldemort gonna go off and kill him, and so they could like get Harry out of there and stuff like that. Yeah. But my thing is, going back into Snape's childhood, he was friends with Lily, Harry's mom.
Yeah.
But then he got involved with Death Eaters, became really racist and called her a mudblood and all this other stuff. Was mean to her friend and boyfriend who was James, Harry's dad.
Granted, devil's advocate, they did give him shit.
I mean, because he was racist to Lily.
Well, no, that was all beforehand, correct? Well, they picked on him and shit like that. It
was all kind of like in the same thing. And like, there's one thing of being like kind of a bully. Like, okay, it's like, okay, someone's like a little bit mean to you, but also you have been racist to this one girl. And like, I'm not saying that what James and them did was okay. James was also an asshole, but James also didn't then go and join a cult that tried to eradicate mudbloods. Or, people who didn't have magic. Or
I was always had the assumption that they were friends. They went to Hogwarts. James and his buddies were constantly giving Severus shit. And like as they got older, James and Lily sort of got together, and that pissed off Severus, and that's why he said, No,
granted, it's been a minute since, I read the books or whatever, but it all kind of happened like simultaneously. Like one of the reasons why, she got so close with James and the other Marauders and stuff like that is because she was moving away from Service because he was getting more involved with those people who would eventually become Death Eaters.
Okay.
Like they were moving off into two separate circles. And so it was happening simultaneously. And then you go into the fact that even though he apparently cares about Harry because he's part Lily, he's still an asshole the entire time.
I don't even like. I've never even thought I never even thought he really gave a shit about Harry. It was just literally an obligation for Lily.
Oh yeah, that's the thing.
Because there's even that scene where in the films, because I have read all the books. It's been like 5 years ago, but I have seen all the films. But there's even that scene where he's holding Lily's body, and he's weeping at the fact that Lily's dead, but there's a baby Harry right behind him.
Oh yeah,
bawling, and it's almost like, even in that scene, it's almost like he's completely not acknowledging this now orphan child.
Oh, yeah, but then again, at the same time or whatever, like later on, like was it the 7th movie or whatever, he like sacrifices himself for Harry or what the fuck ever happens there. And it's just one of those things that like people love the fact that he sacrificed himself for Harry because he loved Lily. But at the same time, I would argue that you didn't really love her all that much. You joined the cult that was determined to kill her, and you didn't decide to leave until her life was immediately in danger. Not to mention you were responsible for the cult, gaining traction and like killing other people. He was not a good guy. He was never a good guy. He tortured Harry throughout his entire thing. And people just want to stand here and quote, always.
Yeah.
And it pisses me off so much. Yeah. I'm like, no, people want to get tattoos of always. Yeah. And I'm just like, what are you doing? Snape was bad. Snape was always bad. Just because he had this weird thing where he had a crush on a girl from years ago, even though he was responsible for her death. Like, Snape was a villain. Snape was always a villain. You guys thinking that him somehow simping over this girl for years, that doesn't make him any more redeemable to me. I don't think it should make it redeemable to anybody. And people keep wanting to redeem Snape. He doesn't get to get redeemed, just like Dumbledore does not get to get redeemed. Dumbledore is also a villain.
What? Oh, okay. Now you have to get into this because Dumbledore is seen as all good.
Yep, and he manipulated Harry his entire life.
Oh,
because he knew what he either knew or he had an idea of what Voldemort had done to make himself. He knew about the Horcruxes to an extent or whatever. He knew that eventually, one day Harry was a Horcrux. He knew that Harry was going to have to die. He built Harry up for
just
that purpose.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
He cared more about his own goals than Harry's fucking life.
I don't know if I can't recall if it's in the books or not, but there is that scene in the film where Dumbledore's kind of talking about that, and Snape says, so you're pretty much leading him to the slaughter.
Yeah.
So Snape was kind of looking out for.
See, and once again,
that's when the always line comes from, isn't it?
I think it comes a little bit later, like maybe something like that. But still, oh wait, that's right, because that's when he gets like the dough that comes from his wand. He's like, Lily still left her all this time.
Yeah.
And like always, and it's but yeah, they're both gross, they're both horrible, and they were actually villains who abused Harry his entire life and were responsible for a lot of the horrible things that happened to him.
I don't know. But I mean, it was foreseen, wasn't it?
It was for
It was
what?
it was all foreseen. It was all.
Oh, you're talking about like the Trelawney bullshit or whatever?
Well, just like he was the chosen one, which
technically the chosen one could have been him or Neville.
I have heard that theory. Yes.
Well, I mean, they were born on the same day. They both had like it fit both of them. Like they talk about it like it could have been either or, and then they chose Harry.
I tell you, that is a trope I am getting fucking sick of in books and movies. The whole chosen one. I'm so sick of that trope. So tired of it. I mean, can we please just like what about the second choice? What if the chosen one by some happenstance gets knocked out? So the second choice has to step up and be like, okay.
It's like, and it's not even like, what if it's not, I don't know. Like, I mean, granted, a lot of it's like the chosen one, like Harry, and it's like, it's not even necessarily that you're the chosen one. You're the only chosen one. It's just like, it could have been somebody else, but I guess it's you.
Mm.
And, just kind of like Frodo, like it could have been somebody else, but I guess it's you because you're the one who's got the ring now.
Mm.
Like that's one of the things that you see a lot with the chosen ones shit. It's like, I mean, granted, like there are some ones where it's you're the chosen one, you're literally the only one. But then there's a lot of ones where it's like you're the chosen one, and like
because I said
because there's nobody else. It's like it's not because there can't be somebody else. It's because like Katniss Everdeen, I volunteer.
Yeah. Oh, they didn't call her the chosen one, though, did they? There was no like.
No, they didn't. Well, I mean, they didn't technically call her the chosen one. They called her the Mockingbird. Which,
well, that I see. I think that's a little different because Katniss Everdeen, she kind of stood up and took action.
She was also used as a propaganda, prop or whatever to further their ideals and stuff. I mean, so like that's the thing about the chosen one, and that you see is that like all of these, like, because it's always kids. It's always like kids or young people. And then they're just, manipulated and abused by the rest of the adults in their life because, they all have like these alternate, fucking things that they want. Like they have their own needs and wants and desires. And they're all like, well, this is just a kid, so I can probably just tell them whatever and they'll do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's the truth.
So adults were the real villains.
Oh, I'm so done with that chosen one trope. It's like, oh my God. I like when there's like just an everyday person that,
Shaun of the Dead.
Yes. It's just an everyday person that, it steps up for the challenge. You know what I mean?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I like those. I like those people. Like, I know, Batman, people are always like, oh, he gets out of impossible stuff, which he does because he's a fictional character and he's in a comic book and he's in movies. But, Batman wasn't a chosen one. He's a billionaire. So I'd skip over that. But his parents did get killed in a senseless act of violence. And, he was just like, this is the way I'm going to process my grief.
Yeah.
Put on a bat costume. I'm gonna beat up clowns.
But when I do that, it's a problem.
No shit. You're preaching to the choir. When I beat up clowns, I get thrown in jail. Man, but Batman,
You remember in 2016 when we had a clown problem?
Oh God, I do remember that. I'll never forget. I don't know if it hit Taylorsville that much. I do remember somebody posted like, "There's a clown scene in the blah blah."
Just like
it's fucking why? Like it's weather.
Like we're gonna have to tell like you're like we're gonna have to tell our children, and like you're gonna have to tell people someday, these kids that are growing up now, about like, oh, we're going through serious economic downturns and everything like that, but in 2016 we had
There
a
were
serious
clowns.
clown problem.
Yeah,
They had
clown.
machetes and everything. They just
Yeah.
showed up on the side of the road
Yeah.
and waved menacingly at people.
Yeah. We had a clown pandemic.
It like, man, like it's bad. That's
I
also
do,
when things were simple.
Going, I know I've been bringing up Batman a lot, but it was cool when all that was going on. I did read this article where these I guess it was happening. It was more prevalent, or however you say it, in in other places or whatever.
Huh?
And some were like, because they would like scare kids and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like this dude and like this like authentic like badass Batman costume showed up, and he was like, "Get the fuck out of here!" to the clowns. Isn't that this is so cool to me?
I mean, it is cool, but it's just like, it's bad that that's when things were simple. Is just when we had killer clowns.
I don't know if you could call that simple.
I you know
Back
what?
when we had to just
Compared to
worry
what
about
we
clowns.
have now, like, yes. I'll go back to our killer clown days.
I don't know.
I don't know. 2016 was also a bad year too, so maybe not that.
I don't know. I just like, if I was gonna, I want to dress up like something else, like I don't know, like a dinosaur. Just walk around.
Oh my gosh, I want to get one of those big inflatable dinosaur costumes or whatever, and just
walk
like,
around.
yes,
Just walk around in wooded areas. Just like not scare kids, so they come out, just like do a little dance for them.
it'd be fun.
Yeah. We could eat the clowns. If there's any remaining clowns from 2016 that may be out there. I think this is as good a time as any to wrap this thing up.
Probably, because I could go on for days about this whole who's an asshole thing, because
And I mean, you've raised I'm
making you question your life, aren't I?
well, not my life.
You
That's
do that
been
pretty well
that-
on your own.
Yeah, well, that's been ruined for years now. But no, I mean, you raised very valid points. I just, because I had a hard time. Like I said, I had a couple in mind, like Katniss, which completely blew up in my face.
Sorry.
Well, no, it's just, I'm glad. I'm mad at the person that lied to me.
I really want to know who this person was and where they got that idea.
Yeah,
I mean, oh my gosh, what if it comes back that I'm wrong? Like, I'm pretty,
know.
like, I know that she kills coin for that reason, but what if she at one point did say, like, oh yeah, that seems like a chill idea?
I don't know, but no, I mean, you brought up really amazing, like, especially Snape. And like my whole because like, if I had to pick a favorite Harry Potter character, like with somebody, not that I get asked very often, but like I would always say, well, I liked Snape, because I had like the kind of brooding.
Oh yeah, like, as a character, I still love Snape, and I think if you characterize him as a villain, he's still a fantastic character. But I think people need to stop trying to make him a hero. He's not. He was never a hero. He was a villain who at some points realized that maybe he did some shitty things, but at the same time, I don't think I don't know. I hate the heroization, whatever you want to call, of idolizing of Snape, because he's not someone that should be idolized.
Validation?
It's just, maybe. That's the thing, is I've always had a problem with Snape. And Alan Rickman, fantastic. Actor.
God, great,
like,
great
really brought Snape alive.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I mean, that's who. I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only one. When I think of Snape, that's where my mind automatically goes to. So
exactly. So these characters being villains don't necessarily make them any less good as characters. Obviously, we like villains here.
Mhm.
You know, we enjoy villains, but at the same time, stop calling these assholes heroes.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. So, with all that being said, who do we have to thank for this little horse and pony show?
Well, I know we got to thank Fierce Skate Media Network.
And thank you also to the 3 people that listened to us.
Thanks, Mom.
Thank you, Sam's mother.
Yes. Oh, and you know, if you guys haven't checked it out yet, Fierce Skate Media Network does have their own app now.
Yeah,
so you can listen to us as well as all of the other amazing podcasts.
Like Misters of the Dark.
This is I say wishful drinking. That's a
Mhm.
fun one.
Misters of the Dark.
Yes, Misters of the Dark. There you go, Lance. There's your validation.
Yeah.
But yes, and you can also check us out on Facebook and on Twitter, and on Instagram and stuff like that. On Facebook, we're the Antagonists, and then on Twitter and on Instagram, we are Antagonist_AVP.
And that doesn't stand for Alien versus Predator.
It could.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't, but it could. That sounds way cooler.
Yeah, yeah. But with all that being said, I guess it's time to say goodbye.
So long, farewell to you, my friends. Goodbye for now, until we meet again.